Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Here at Fields and Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields and Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Today. AJ Good with Michael Marks, Brian Gobble, and Taylor Plott. Guys, the band is back together. We're not completely iced in. Some people are. Unfortunately, in Summertown, they're still very iced in. Is the game still on tomorrow, or we got any updates between Loretto and Summertown?
Loretto's at Wayne County tomorrow. So I think Summertown's the next Tuesday, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say. So that game is still on for now. And you know, even our middle school is still going on tonight. Both Lawrence County and Hickman County schools are out, but Kaufman will be playing at East Hickman tonight around 7:15 after their girls' game. So yeah, tournament play is still going on.
Yeah, I totally cannot read a schedule. That's on me. And I'm still in pain from bowling yesterday.
Ooh.
First ball, I hear a pop in my left knee. I was fine the rest of the time. But apparently my son, who doesn't want to roll it down the dragon tail anymore, he throws like a knuckleball. I'm not kidding you. He bowled an 8 one time on his own without the guardrails because he took over my turn because I was trying to avoid a meltdown in the middle of Columbia. And this thing, I mean, it literally did this. Just missed the front pin, but it knocked down. Man. He whiffed on the next one, but hey, it was A for effort for what he was trying to do. And Daddy broke 100 all 3 games. What's your all's highest bowling?
A couple of years ago, I went with Loretto's basketball team, and I bowled like it wasn't anything crazy. It was like a 140 or a 150. Okay. That's usually as good as I can get. Now I'm not just breaking triple digits.
Yeah. I haven't been bowling in years. I don't think I've ever gotten above 200 in real bowling. Okay. I was a dog back in the day on Wii bowling.
So you get me on the Wii.
Yeah. I mean, I used to take some of my kids at church to school. Yeah.
You haven't taken your kids at church to a bowling yet? That's like the youth group standard place to go is bowling.
We went once a few years ago, but I think we just settled in with the Wii and with the Switch, Switch bowling and stuff like that. So
220 in real life.
Okay.
Only one time.
Yeah.
All the others that I remember, I got like up to 200, but I would say I was always like around like 150, 170.
Okay.
Wii bowling, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about a consistent 150 bowler. The most I ever did was we did mine and my wife's. What's the party before the wedding?
Rehearsal dinner.
Rehearsal dinner. We did it at the bowling alley. here, and I hit 223.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
pretty good.
Because unfortunately and unfortunately, like, it's so frustrating. Like, I get in front of a big group of people, step my game up. Next thing you know, I'm just bowling strikes. I'm hitting marks, spares or strikes in every frame. You know, I've multiple times
He's hitting 7-10 splits.
I've done that twice in my life. Just happened to hit that angle right perfectly.
Yep.
And I was just hitting everything going down there. And then my dad challenged me there at the end. Last 5 frames, we went up against each other, and I just boom, boom, strike.
You spin it?
No, straight on.
Just straight.
Yeah, but
Sometimes, like, my dad goes in angles, and I started doing that a little bit, and, you know, it works.
I was able to get a little bit of a spin on it, but if I went bowling right now, I probably wouldn't be able to do that. It's been so long.
I'm so old now that every time I do that, my legs hurt, and now my groin hurts from doing that. And I'm like, I'm a marathon runner, and I bowl like 1 frame, and next thing you know, I'm sore for the next 2 days. hate how that happens. But guys, we were actually watching clips in between breaks here, and I'm trying to regain myself. Regain myself here. But we do have some local news going on today. Just a couple hours ago, hockey news. Barry Trotz is retiring, and he, as the general manager there in Nashville, and he will stay on until a new GM is found. Obviously, he's tried to come in and change some things around. Nashville is not terrible, but both conferences, the races to get into the playoffs are so close. He finally, with Ovechkin, got over the hump there in Washington, but just one of those things, guys. He's just getting up there in age, and professional sports get closer and closer and harder all the time.
I think we're kind of in a mode, really, in all the major professional sports now, where we're kind of moving on from that current generation that's the GMs, the coaches, and getting to some younger guys. I think the Predators need to go young here. It just feels like they've been in such a.
Them, didn't he?
I think so.
He did.
It just feels like they've been in such of a rut just the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, even a little bit before that. They just need something new. They need something young. I'm not sure of any young, GMs around the league, but I feel like that's where the Predators need to go with this.
I didn't know he'd only been general manager for
3
years. Yeah, I think he did coach.
Like long when they didn't used to do the yellow.
Yeah, fresh wind. They've tried. Yeah. They tried.
Oh, he would. I'd love to see the Predators get back to that. I'd love to see the Predators get back to that level again.
Currently, the Preds are 4 points out of the playoffs right now because the West is awful. Outside of Colorado, the West is god-awful. My boys have won 5 in a row. We've got the NHL second longest win streak right now, 5 games. We are 6 points out of a playoff spot. But, you look down the standings. In the East, there are 9 points separating next to last to the first playoff spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's insanely tight. You have a good week or a bad week, and it can completely change your season.
Yeah, or fire your coach, and next thing you know, your team just starts beating everybody in their path. It's crazy how that works. But hey, some things are turning around for the Titans. They got Brian Daboll, he's the offensive coordinator. I know everyone's really excited to bring him on.
I'm pumped.
I know you are.
I'm pumped.
I know you're really pumped.
Let's go. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. I don't know anybody that doesn't like the hires that they've made, from Saleh to Daboll. Let them and Borgonzi work their magic. Let Borgonzi worry about personnel. Let Saleh worry about getting a roster together and getting a defense together, and let Daboll worry about working with Cam Ward. And I think we can easily compete for the division in year one. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like Houston
this year.
I'm not going to pretend like the Houston or Jacksonville of the world are just some world beaters that we have to be scared of. I'm not. I think they're good teams, but we can be good too. So that I could easily see us jumping. And I think maybe going into next season, we might be one of the popular teams to be picked. One of those that go from last to first. I believe that will kind of be a popular pick because everyone's so impressed with the hires that have been made.
I will say this. This is probably some of the best job that the Tennessee Titans have done hiring-wise in quite a while. Because, you can say what you want about Vrabel, and obviously people are like, well, look at him. He's at the Super Bowl now. But you know what? You did what you did, and then post that, you made some terrible moves. Absolutely terrible moves. And what you've done now is I feel like you finally turned the page. You've actually got hires that you can be like, okay, we can get behind them initially, as opposed to, wait, who did you just hire? What did you just do?
Yeah.
You actually, I really think that how they're going about it this time is what they needed to do a handful of years ago. So I'm with you. I feel like you could have a case where, they might not be last to first, but you could be like, all right, well, they are like one of the best turnaround teams in the NFL going from 2025 into 2026.
There's one more thing they need to do to make all things right. Get Will Levis the heck out of Nashville.
He's still there?
Yeah, he is. He had an injury at the first of this season.
I thought they had traded him or something.
No, I think he's still in Nashville from what I'm aware. Yeah. So I don't know if you need to make him like a sacrificial lamb and literally bring him to the 50-yard line and do a public execution. Maybe
get the sword.
Maybe that's too harsh. I don't know, but I just don't like the guy.
You think that's too harsh?
You brought up mistakes that were made.
Yeah, I did.
Talked about the AJ Brown trade and
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's gone. That's whatever. He brought in L'Jarius Sneed and paid him a bunch of money, and that's kind of gone to crap. And what's the biggest one? Like moving up in the draft to draft Will Levis. That is the one thing we need to get rid of to completely wash ourselves clean. Is just do some type, maybe just throw him off the top of Nissan Stadium into the Cumberland River.
I could see it. I could see it now. The first game
we need to get the bad juju, if you will, out of Nissan Stadium before we get the new. We're getting new uniforms too. This is going to be kind of a rebranding thing.
I mean, we should have known when this dude was eating bananas with the peel and putting mayo in his coffee that this was not going to be a good fit. It was just not.
No, you should have known when he played at freaking Kentucky.
Yeah.
What good has come out of Kentucky? Randall Cobb, congratulations. Some mid-wide receiver.
And
who else can you name that came out of Kentucky?
Josh Hines Allen plays for the other Josh Allen.
The one that plays for the Jaguars that had bounced in the first round of the playoffs?
That had to change his name so everybody would know who he was.
Kentucky's so scary. Just don't draft anybody out of Kentucky.
Titans front office, if you're listening right now, the first game, public execution, that's going to be the theme. Gladiator match. Should we do that? Bring that back?
And this is the guy leading your youth in church.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, violence in the Bible.
Old Testament.
That was the time.
No, we've had some head coaches hired. We've got the Cardinals are going to get offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur from the Rams, so he is going to head over there. Looks like the Raiders are going to get Kubiak after the Super Bowl. So looks like everything is starting to shape up a bit across the league.
I have a question, and I feel like I haven't been able to get someone that can tell me straight up what it is. So I thought that the rule the NFL had was you cannot even do anything with coaches that are in the playoffs. Or is it you can talk to them,
I don't think you can do anything official until they're out of it.
Okay, so you can at least talk to it. You can interview them.
You can interview. I don't think you can sign a contract or anything.
I think what you're talking about deals with the actual head coaches. They can't do anything, but their assistants can talk, but nothing can be actually written down.
Okay.
Can't do the press conference until they're out.
Because
they might
everything
have an MOA, a memorandum of understanding.
Yeah. Because everything that I heard up until what y'all just said was completely just it was just very gray. But I thought that you could not talk to a coach, period, who is still in the playoffs until either they got bumped out or the Super Bowl was over with. But okay, you can at least talk to them on the side and move around a little bit. Yeah.
I think this is a good hire for the Cardinals. Now, typically, when you hire, a big name head coach's brother to be a head coach, it usually doesn't go as well because, what I think in my mind is Garrett Riley right now at Clemson. Yeah. That did not work. But listen, Matt LaFleur has been one of the more consistent coaches in the NFL since he got that head job at the Packers. So, maybe his brother can find some similar success in Arizona. It's a place that you can win, but it's been hard the last couple of years.
And then Justin Jefferson came out, I believe it was yesterday, saying the Vikings likely would have been better if Sam Darnold would have stayed, which is the most well-dug comp thing that you can say.
I didn't see this. Justin Jefferson said that?
Yeah, Justin Jefferson said that.
That's taking a grenade.
Because they just fired their GM, and then you get all the dumb Ryan Clarks of the world trying to race bait everybody, and it's only because he's black. It's no, because the guy that he didn't re-sign just took a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yes.
And you've got J.J. McCarthy.
Well, and
your quarterback.
To look at things,
that's why he got fired.
Big nine.
Yeah. Listen, everybody that had Justin Jefferson on their fantasy team this year would agree with this statement fully. I mean, it's crazy how one season, just changing the quarterback from a guy that everybody thought was kind of just a game manager, mediocre guy, from Darnold to McCarthy, and how much that changed the Vikings. They were a complete afterthought in their division, and it was it was just a tough season. I mean, they got that big win against the Bears week 1, and everybody thought that would be kind of a good sign of things that come, and it was just not.
It was just not. And, I mean, I've seen things talk about with Sam Darnold, like, okay, well, what if the Jets actually did some stuff? Or like, well, we're talking about the Jets. I truly think that when you look at the teams that he was a part of, when you get to the Vikings, I really think that the Vikings had the opportunity to do what Seattle's doing this year. You just needed a couple pieces, and you needed to just do a couple of things. And it finally took Seattle for him to land at where they actually could bring everything together. So, I mean, I get the frustration and everything, but I don't know.
Josh Oliver and Jalen Naylor led the Vikings in touchdown receptions with 4 this year. So the pass game was just not there.
Yep. Guys, moving on to some college basketball. How about the Vols? Knock off Stephen Pearl and company, making him look more and more like an average college basketball coach. But 3 straight wins against pretty good competition in the Vols, back into the top 25 at 25th this week.
I got a bit of a bone to pick with the narrative going into that Tennessee Auburn game. Was Stephen Pearl was like, oh, if they hadn't fired us, we wouldn't be where we are now. You were a student. Like, that was your senior year when your dad got fired. You didn't get fired. You graduated and became a medical sales rep, and then, Daddy got a job on the planes, and now you're there. But
I think he knew what he was doing by making that comment.
I would say,
I don't think that came from a genuine place at all. I think he knew that would pick at some people in the right.
I'm a guy that I still like Bruce Pearl. Like, even after he left Tennessee, I didn't have too big of a bone to pick with Auburn, because he didn't really choose to leave Tennessee. It was kind of just the NCAA's.
I think most Vol fans feel that way.
Yeah, and he hasn't acted like a jackwagon.
Yeah, because when other people come back to Tennessee and the fans are booing him, when Auburn would come back, he gets some boos, but most of the people there respected him.
Everybody loved him, respected him.
Stephen, on the other hand, a little bit. Well, I mean, he's a younger version of kind of his dad. What his dad was a young coach. He's very fiery, very emotional, and I think that's why Auburn's had such an up and down year. When they're good, they're really good, but when they're bad, they've struggled.
I hate Stephen Pearl. I could go on a rant similar to the way I did with Will Levis, but I'll just leave it at that. I'm glad he can go back to the Plains, and I posted it on X. I was like, I'll be glad watching him coach, for the Akron Zips here in 2 or 3 years once he's fired, because he's on a direct route for it.
I'm starting to put Stephen Pearl in the category that I had Bruce Pearl in. Most of it with Bruce Pearl was just how animated he gets. I really like how he got animated when he gets pissed off. But
I think Alabama fans kind of had 2 reasons, because of Tennessee and Auburn. So.
Yeah, and that's true. I get behind that. From a coaching standpoint, I respect him as a coach. He knows what he's doing and everything. But just be able to see him get pissed off and everything. I'm starting to put Stephen Pearl in the category that I had Bruce Pearl and Will Wade. I absolutely loved being able to get under Will Wade's skin in these games, get under Bruce Pearl's skin in these games, and now Stephen Pearl, he's going to be in that category too. Just get under his skin and everything.
And see, that's why I hope he stays at Auburn for a while, because I want to see that. Because when Will Wade would throw a tantrum on the sideline at LSU, I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just another guy like that in the SEC. I think it makes Saturdays even more fun, because that was a game between 2 unranked teams, and it was fun start to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was reading something. Guys, but new top 25 just came out. Arizona's still at the top. Michigan's
like
moved
25,
up. Michigan's moved up to 2.
They had a great week. They won at home against Nebraska and at Michigan State, 2 top 10 wins.
Yeah, Nebraska's dropped back-to-back games here. They're now at 20-2. Man, this tournament field, just looking at it right now, because there's a good mix of everything. You see a lot of SEC, a lot of Big 12, a lot of Big 10, a few ACCs sprinkled here and there. And then the MAC with Miami, 22-0. St. Louis with A10, 21-1. And Gonzaga's Gonzaga, 22-1. This is shaping up to be a fun tournament, and we still got another month of the regular season before we even start getting into the tournament.
And I love when mid-majors are good. Like, obviously, Gonzaga's good. They're going to be on TV every Saturday. Love watching them in St. Mary's every year. But, seeing, like, Miami of Ohio. I probably haven't watched 2 Miami of Ohio games in my life. They're fun to watch. This St. Louis team is incredibly fun to watch. They got the Robbie Avila kid from Illinois or Indiana State a couple years ago, and they have a shooter off their bench that's hitting like 5 or 6 threes a game. He's insane.
I'm just thinking about Tennessee's lost to Kentucky. Like, man, that's just the more the season drags on, the more that blown lead just hurts. It just hurts because we're at 5-3. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the SEC. So we're kind of at the competing for the few of the top spots. But if you just take care of Kentucky and don't blow a ridiculous lead, then you're sitting at number 3, right behind Texas A&M and Florida. Yeah. And with the ups and downs of the season, I feel like it is a success to be at 5-3 where you are right now. But man, I'm just thinking, what if we could just take care of business? The season gets the schedule gets easier for Tennessee, right? For these next few weeks, you play Ole Miss, you do play Kentucky again, but you play Mississippi State, LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Those are 4 out of the next 5-year games. Like, that should be easy for you to take care of and easily go 4-0 in those games.
Keep gathering that momentum.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're back ranked again. What do we say?
25.
25. Yeah, I mean,
they had a huge streak going. The entire time I was in school there, they were ranked in the top 25. 90 weeks.
That. And who's the highest SEC team? Is it still Arkansas?
No, Vandy at 15.
Vandy at 15.
Okay.
Because Arkansas lost. That wasn't a great loss.
No.
They kind of switched, right? Last year, the John Calipari thing was still fresh on everybody's minds. He goes to Kentucky, his first visit to Kentucky, and he takes an unranked Arkansas team and upsets Kentucky in Rupp Arena.
Yep.
It switched this year. Ranked Arkansas team, Kentucky comes in there and pretty much handled the game, right?
That was one of the strangest officiated games I've ever watched. There were like 7 technical fouls in this game. It was that one was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was a strange game, but I mean, Arkansas really didn't lead at all. No. Like, Kentucky kind of handled it.
Yeah, I would say it was tied with about 6 to 8 minutes to go, and then Kentucky really took over.
And if anybody needed it, it was Kentucky. I mean, they were kind of Kentucky fans have been at each other's throat all season. A lot of people don't think Mark Pope's the guy. They've had some ugly losses, but then they've had good wins, like coming back against Tennessee, and then like last week beating Arkansas. So Kentucky's a tough team to figure out, but they did have a good win at Arkansas last week. We didn't talk about Florida.
Yeah, there's not 16 teams in the country better than Florida.
Florida's getting to that next level.
I've watched them 3 times this year. I watched them against Georgia, I watched them against Tennessee, and I watched them against Alabama on Sunday. That's a top 10 team. There may not be 6 to 8 teams better than them. I think you're still looking at Arizona, Michigan, Duke, UConn, and maybe Houston.
Yeah. The thing that I was just waiting on, which Florida has now finally been able to do it, is it was just one of those things where just wait. They will get to where they need to get to or were expected to get to. And it took them a little bit, but they're finally catching their feet, and they are just off and running. And right now, I don't see them stopping. I think Florida is going to continue to win. I think they're going to continue to get up to that top 10. And right now, yes, I do think that when you look at the top 25 as a whole, Florida should be in that top 10 because they are really playing like a top 10 team. Out of the SEC, when you're talking about how the tournament field and how you got Miami of Ohio, who's still undefeated, Arizona, you've got St. Louis, who's looking really good. Don't sleep on Tennessee. Florida's obviously showing what they are able to do. Don't sleep on Tennessee. Don't sleep on Kentucky. I feel like Kentucky, Mark Pope's not a bad coach. He can get that squad going. They just have some things that they're just dealing with, and I don't think they're like huge issues. I think they have the talent to be able to fix that. Alabama is going to be, I honestly don't know. I feel like the pieces are there, but there's something going on that's just not, it's just not clicking and jiving, and I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it. I don't know.
Well,
but
I think the unfortunate thing for Alabama is getting Bediako, adding him to the roster, is kind of unofficially put like a number 1 next to Alabama's name in the sense that you're going to get everybody's best shot for the rest of the season. And I don't know if this is an Alabama team. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm not sure if they're a team that can take everybody's best shots and come out with a record that looks good.
There was looking at this Alabama team, it's weird because you look at the talent that they have. You can remove Bediako for a moment. Just go back to the roster that did not have Bediako on it. and it's not a bad roster. You've got amazing guards. You've got Holloway. You got Philon, who could easily be lottery picks in either this year's draft or maybe next year's, depending on what they decide. And you've got some decent size down low, but the factor that I feel like has been lacking this year is the toughness. Because you look at the Nate Oates teams that they've had over the past handful of years, yeah, they may not have the best shooting nights, but they're going to be able to step it up on defense. They're going to be able to out-tough you to an extent. Sometimes it comes out as a loss, but other times it'll come out as a win, but at least they give you that effort, they give you that chance. This year's team, it's almost like they end up folding. They will give you that little push in the second half if they're behind to either get it tie game or get it within a couple of points, and all of a sudden the opponent goes on like a 10-0 run and then just end up folding, and it's a blowout loss. There's a toughness factor in this year that is definitely lacking. I don't know if that's something you can just find during the season. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't expect Alabama to be, not only just a championship contender, but not a Final Four contender, not an Elite Eight contender, maybe get to the Sweet 16 if they just continue to be able to kind of chug along the way they're chugging along. But out of the SEC, I would say watch out for Tennessee, obviously watch out for Florida, and don't sleep on Kentucky. I think Kentucky can finally get things going.
I don't believe Kentucky. I don't believe Mark Pope. I'm
Listen,
okay if
they started conference play 0-2, then they won 5 straight, and then they go lose to Kentucky or to Vanderbilt by 25. So it's you can get a real mixed bag from Kentucky.
I'm not. Obviously, they beat Tennessee at home, but I still don't think Kentucky's a good team.
I think Texas A&M's the scariest team in the SEC.
They are.
That's the other one with A&M.
Past couple of games, just because I've really become a fan of their style. They're pressing off everything. I don't think that their skill level probably a top 10 most skilled team in the SEC, but dang, they're annoying to play against.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shed any tears if Alabama goes winless for their season.
Hey, I don't blame you on that.
I do not like
I don't blame you.
I hate his attitude. I hate the way he's handled this whole Bediako situation. I hate the way he handled the whole the murder case that got brought up with Brandon Miller. I hate his demeanor. I hate his there's a clip of him pushing, shoving a Missouri player in the chest. I'm like,
oh, that yeah,
I don't handle situations that way. I don't like the guy. So, and it's Alabama, so it's just a perfect firestorm. Man, I just don't like you. I don't like you as a coach. So, to me, I kind of disagree with you. If their 3-point shots not falling and they're not running and gunning, I don't think they're that good of a team.
Well,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I'm starting to realize now when Alabama gets in big physical games against anybody but Auburn, they really struggle. Because all those Auburn games will go back and forth because it's a rivalry. But I've noticed with Tennessee and with Florida, it's been really one-sided in those games the past couple of years. And it feels like because those two teams have out-toughed Alabama.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what it was a couple of weeks ago with Tennessee and Alabama. And I'm not sure. And it was what we saw Sunday with Florida.
And I do agree with the 3-point aspect. You definitely have the talent on the floor. You have the talent. But yes, it definitely feels like this year has been more. You are really, really living and dying by the 3 because you don't really have a good inside game, so you're not be able to get up to the rim and get the layups and the free throws as you would want, as opposed to some of the other teams. The thing, I understand the aspect with the Nate Oates. You're not the only one that I've heard that from. I've actually known some Alabama fans who feel like that they rub them the wrong way. The thing that I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. I'm not saying that this is exactly what he's doing. But when you look at Greg Burns' comments and some of the stuff that Nate Oates has said in press conferences, I really do wonder if the Bediako situation is one, you do have a precedent that's starting to be set with these other kids coming from overseas and everything. So it's like if you have a tool, all right, well then I guess you use it. I'm against that. I'm still firmly. I told AJ about this. I'm firmly. If you sign a contract, that is you now signing away any ability to have to come back to college to play athletics. You can come back and get your degree. That's fine. But there's a lot of talk, especially with Greg Byrne, is maybe this is to force the NCAA to actually finally get their stuff together and be able to come up with something. I know you're going to say no and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but there's been some talk that I don't know if that's something that they're just doing to force the NCAA to fix it. Like I said, I don't like the situation. I don't like being able to use Bediako because, like I said, I'm firmly with you signed a contract, you're signing away your eligibility. And if for some reason the court says, okay, well, that's not the case, that actually means this, well, whatever. It's the legal aspect. I'm not a legal expert. They can all figure that out.
Yeah, it's just a huge mess because now we've seen with the Bailey kid that was at UCLA a couple years ago. Now he's wanting to do it, and he's actually played NBA games like a couple of weeks ago. So I mean, it's a big mess. We're teetering on a line of this getting really bad.
It's a big mess.
It's already really bad.
Well, speaking of messes, guys, we're going to talk about the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame when we return. A star-studded class, who should get in, and we'll talk about the whole Belichick mess when we return here on X Sports Today.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Banking made simple and convenient. At Builtwell Bank, we're here for you. Whether you're making a milestone purchase or saving for retirement, our dedicated financial team will walk with you every step of the way because we care. From personal banking accounts to making sure your business and commercial needs are met, we'll make sure you have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and goals. Serving Lawrenceburg and Summertown. Come see us today. Member FDIC.
Friendly and reliable service is our promise to you because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome, everybody, back to X Sports Today. AJ Gobble, Taylor Plott, Brian Gobble, and Michael Marks. Guys, getting to our second segment. We're going to talk Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're going to find out who's getting in on Thursday night of their. So we have Eli Manning is not getting in. Him nor Bill Belichick, but listen to the 15 modern era finalists that will include Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, guard Jahari Evans, offensive tackle Willie Anderson, Marshall Yonda, defensive tackle Kevin Williams, Terrell Suggs, Luke Kuechly, safety Darren Woodson, and Adam Vinatieri.
I would say I don't think Eli should. He could make it eventually, but shouldn't definitely not be in yet. Because without those 2 Super Bowls over Brady, he's got a pretty average career. The Bill Belichick one has really got me puzzled because he's appeared in 10, 8 to 10 Super Bowls somewhere in there. I think he's the most all time, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. What does that set for any coach going forward? Because that means that Andy Reid can't be a first ballot.
He's in the senior finalist, so he's in that bunch. He's not involved with the whole Fitzgerald, Drew Brees class of things. And Robert Kraft getting in over him. Yeah. I mean, it's up to me. Kraft would get in eventually, but I would put Belichick in before I would put Kraft.
I would say somebody's got to actually coach the guys on the field. It doesn't matter how good of a team you put together. That just feels really disrespectful. But I mean, a bunch of those names you mentioned, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Marshall Yonda, a couple guys like that, I think definitely deserve to be in. But there were some confusing names up there, like Kyle Williams. Like I mean, he had a pretty good career with the Bills, but I haven't thought about him as a Hall of Famer yet.
You want to go first?
I was looking. Do you mean Kevin Williams?
Yes, Kevin Williams. Yeah.
The Bill thing is just strange because you have the whole people leaking information saying this is a punishment for cheating. And you know, I've been listening to Dan Patrick and Bill and Dan's like, okay, if you're going to have this attitude this year, you need to have it the next year. So don't punish him one year and then the next year be like, oh, you're a Hall of Famer. Well, if he's a Hall of Famer, then he should have been in on the first ballot. That you need to keep the same attitude. I think the coach of an NFL team is one of the most pivotal roles on the field. More so, a coach in an NFL team is more important than a coach of any other sport, of the major sports, in whether it be baseball or basketball. Like, those coaches are important, but an NFL head coach, man, they do a lot of game management, of roster management. They make a lot of decisions. And so for you to have as much success as Bill Belichick did, and you don't reward him for that, like he's being drugged through the mud a little bit. And I get it. You wanna hold somebody accountable for cheating, but I just don't know if this is the way. I don't think I agree with this at all.
Because I think what it does is it even further negates the importance that goes around, first ballot Hall of Famer, unanimous Hall of Famer, this, that, and the other. Because Bill Belichick is both of those things in everybody else's minds except some of the spiteful voters.
The take I have on it is I completely agree. First and foremost, that this is, I mean, there's been stuff where they talk about where this is him being punished for out of spite for his cheating, for Spygate, for Deflategate, for just him being the person that he is. But at the end of the day, that's not who you're voting on. You're not voting on the person. I do not like Tom Brady as the quarterback for the Patriots. I felt like that he tried to, I get it's part of the game, and I'm not saying that it's against the game or anything, but you just look, he always was like, oh, well, give me the flag, get a foul. He had the personality that he was on the field would just rub you the wrong way. I feel the same way about Patrick Mahomes. Always, getting tossed on the ground. Where's my flag? What's football, man? Just toughen up and everything. So there's aspects where it's like, I don't like those aspects about them. But guess what? Tom Brady has won, 6 Super Bowls? He has been a fantastic quarterback. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's getting my vote. Patrick Mahomes, he's multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's going to win more Super Bowls, I think. I don't know how many more, but he's going to win at least another one. First ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He's going to get my vote because that's what I'm voting on. I'm voting on what happens on the field. I don't care if you look back and like, oh, well, over the course of his career, Patrick Mahomes ended up getting 50 times more penalties than the other just because of who he is. Okay, whatever. You're going on what is on the field, the product that you have on the field, whether you're a coach or a player. That is what you're voting on. I could care less on whether a guy got 50 DUIs in his tenure or whatnot.
O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame.
O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame, and he murdered a chick. I mean, it's
and a dude.
and a guy. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Who knows what else?
Yeah, who knows what else? But it's like you're voting on the game. You're not voting on who the person is.
Well, to me, I don't think Bill really compromised the integrity of the game either.
I agree.
The thing that gets me, you could kind of compare this to the Pete Rose situation, I guess, but Pete Rose, to me, like, betting on games compromises the integrity of the game a little more. Like, if you're a manager and you're betting on a game, like, that's affecting your decisions and how you manage and how you manage your roster, how you manage a game, the decisions that you make.
Whether or not he bet for the Reds every time, which makes you question the days he didn't vote.
Right.
He didn't bet on the Reds.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's a different situation. To me, Bill and the things that he's getting punished for, one, the filming thing, like, it just seems more subjective. Like, well, was it really that bad what he was doing? Like, it was wrong. It was against the rules, yes, for him to film in the particular area that he did, but it wasn't like film wasn't available in through other means. It was just the means that he got that the Spygate film for, and then the subjective kind of area about, well, the Deflategate thing it was cold weather, so the balls deflate a little bit, and the NFL had to do their own testing, and the results really weren't ever really released, I don't think, from the NFL on their end.
But Brady also didn't help himself out by not giving over his cell phone.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was fishy, but to me, I'm just like, man, he was successful outside of that. Like I don't think he compromised the integrity of the game to me, and so I don't think you should punish him for that. Like, he is a fantastic coach, undeniable his success, and the reason why the Patriots had as much success is because of his help. So
well, the Deflategate game was like a 45-7 game. Like, it wasn't even a close game.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Like
and
you
the
said,
defense dominated. I think the defense even had like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it didn't even matter.
No.
Yeah, and going off of what you said, he was like, it's just those 2 things. All right, it's not like we're talking about some head coach who every single year there is some controversy or some conspiracy or something like that going on. This was 2 times out of his 30 whatever plus year career that you actually had so-called controversies going on. I mean, and to your point that Michael just made, all right, well, so what if the ball was deflated to in a bit? It didn't matter. Right. It did not matter. Now, if you're talking about a game where it came down to overtime and one play or whatnot, okay, you can make maybe a little bit more of an argument, but
it was 45-7. Colts only scored 1 touchdown that game.
Yeah.
And it was
that didn't matter.
It was like a cold, snowy, like terrible weather.
Well, I thought the same thing, but according to Wikipedia, maybe not the most reliable source, because that's 51 degrees
and rain.
Yeah. So I remember it being messy weather, but I think it was rain.
Yeah.
It wasn't that cold, but I don't know. Either way, not as big of a deal.
I was going to say it's cold. The ball can
be.
Deflate when it's cold, but
Which drives my point home about Tom Brady. If you want to get in the weeds about Tom Brady, that the defense handled things for them. Like the offense scored 45 points, but Tom Brady was so good because he was a great quarterback, but also because they had fantastic defenses helping him out on the other side. So, anyways.
And, there's one guy, I think he was a Colts beat writer, who's on that committee, and he gave a reason why, which is there's 3 guys that he wants to push through that are probably going to leave the list soon. Ken Anderson won an MVP quarterback, first West Coast quarterback. Bill Walsh was his offensive coordinator there in Cincinnati. Led the Bengals to their first Super Bowl, even though they lost. Roger Craig, the first 1,000 guy, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving, won 3 rings with the 49ers, and L.C. Greenwood, big member on the defensive line, the steel curtain back in the 70s. A lot of people are shocked he hasn't gotten into the Hall of Fame yet. So he made the case there that he wasn't voting against Bill because he thinks like he's a slam dunk. Next year he'll get in. If he doesn't get in next year, he'll get in the next year. It's he's more voting for these guys than he is voting against Bill. He wants to see these guys still be a part of it.
How many names do you get to put on a ballot?
I think you only get 3.
Okay, I was about to say if it's more than 3, that's a pretty dumb argument. If it's 3, then I think don't
it's
have much.
Just 3.
If it is just 3, then I'm okay with it. I'm like, how do you not just throw Bill in there with if it's like 5 or 6 names you get to throw in there?
Well, there's some other aspect that I did not know about until I heard it the other day, which is, and correct me if I'm wrong, AJ, I want to say that it was you only get to select 1 coach. That you get there's other players.
I think there's one off that old timers veterans committee or whatever it is, you get the pick.
You get to pick,
you're right?
And most of them are like coaches or whatnot. And so there is some talk about okay, well, Bill Belichick didn't get in, but there was like another coach. Was it? I'm blanking. It's not Shane. It wasn't
Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan or somebody where he could have gotten in, but because there's not a coach that was actually got up to those 40 out of 50, there's going to be no coaches involved in this one. So it's like, okay, well, if you dished Bill, then you should have bumped him up because now it's going to end up being, okay, well, Bill Belichick's going to be in next year's class. Well, then he's going to have to wait another year.
I think it's a dumb rule. Why can only one coach go in a year?
Well, baseball, you can vote for as many as you want on the ballot. Not everyone picks everybody, but you can vote for as many as you want. In football, it's, and when you look at that list, I'm like, well, I mean, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald has to be a first ballot guy. Larry Fitzgerald is so stinking good. Drew Brees wrote every record book you can think of. After that, I mean,
Torrey Holt, I think he's got a pretty good argument.
Frank Gore's probably on the outside, but when you look at Terrell Suggs, one of the best. He's top 10 all time in sacks. Luke Kuechly. I mean, he was on a horrible Carolina defense, and he led the league in tackles about every year.
I was about to say, I'm wondering if the longevity of his career may hurt him, because I think he's probably I think he's the best middle linebacker of the 21st century so far. Him or Patrick Willis. So, but again, his career wasn't very long. I don't know if that'll hurt him.
When I'm seeing this one prediction I have is they've got Brees, Fitzgerald, Kuechly, Kraft, and L.C. Greenwood are going to get in.
I'd say out of those old timers list, I'd go with like a Roger Craig. I think
first thousand guy.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's impressive.
I'm on the thought process of like the Hall of Fame has to mean something.
Right.
Not everybody
that's
needs
why
to
there's
get
only
in.
5
Right.
gets
And
in,
so I'm glad that they do limit this.
Yeah.
It causes us to have discussions. Well, who's more deserving, or who's going to get left out if we don't get them in soon because their eligibility runs out. The Hall of Fame has to mean something. You can't, like, to me, I don't think Frank Gore needs to just walk in.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm not making that argument.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you are, but I do think there's a Hall of Fame. There's a hall. You can have a Hall of Good, as Dan Patrick likes to say, a Hall of Very Good. But there is a Hall of Fame that needs to be. It needs to be like the upper echelon, like the guys who make the NFL, who shape the sport, who win championships and redefine the sport in certain eras. And a lot of these guys, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, did that. Terrell Suggs, like, man, they defined the sport when they were in it. So Adam Vinatieri, I think it was... he had
a pretty rough end to his career, if I remember.
He did, but...
I'm thinking of Janikowski.
Somebody made the comment, is like, how many coaches did Vinatieri get fired by making a field goal at the end of the game? By like putting people over the hump?
I mean, he's got to get in at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, because all the Super Bowls.
Well, doesn't he have multiple walk-off Super Bowl wins?
2. He's got 2.
I think playoff wins in general.
The Colts.
He won with the Colts.
Yeah. So this is the 2027 class. The big names out of it. Obviously, you got Bill, but you got Ben Roethlisberger, Cam Newton, Adrian Peterson, and Richard Sherman, and Andrew Whitworth, who's probably one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. That's your potential 2027 class.
You said Adrian Peterson's
Adrian
Peterson. That's a rough class.
I wouldn't put AP first ballot, but Roethlisberger,
he was good.
And Sherman too. I mean, any time you're matched up against Sherman, you're going to get locked down.
They mentioned Antonio Brown here. I'm like, they ain't touching that with a 60-foot pole to put him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
God, that's going to be in jail.
I mean, can we debate Roethlisberger at all?
Sure.
Like, is he more like in the Hall of Very Good? Like,
he threw for at least 3,000 yards from 2006 to 2018.
He has 64,000 career yards, 418 touchdowns in 18 years.
He's one of those
with one team.
Yeah, with one team. He's one of those.
He went 165 and 81 in his career.
Like longevity, like he's great. Like he played for a long time, and he won a Super Bowl. That's great. But did he stand out amongst the other guys that he was competing against? Like,
we got to realize the guy, like, he's not going to have all the first team all pros and stuff like that, because he played with Peyton and with Tom Brady his whole career.
Drew
Brees
and Aaron Rodgers.
I feel like
it's just such a tough.
You could have put him in the top 5. but he wasn't the crack 3.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, is he really deserving of
you know,
Hall of Fame?
I don't think there's a slam dunk Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like first ballot Hall of Famer in this whole list.
next year's class.
Cam Newton's not getting in. No. I don't think he is. One great year's not going to put him in. No, the Hall of Famer for ridiculous outfits, 100% Cam Newton's getting into that.
Hall of Famer personality.
Adrian Peterson will eventually get in because he was a very
helps.
good running back.
Yep.
Andrew Whitworth will eventually get in, one of the greatest offensive tackles of all time, and Richard Sherman will eventually get in. But of all of those names, you're saying Roethlisberger, Peterson, Whitworth, and Sherman. Do any of those deserve first ballot Hall of Fame?
I think Gore deserves the first ballot Hall of Fame over Peterson.
The 2026 class looks better and better when you're looking at the 2027 class.
Because sure, Peterson had that 2,000-yard year and broke all those records and stuff like that. But really, after that, after he had the whole scandal with his kid and stuff like that, he really kind of
fell off.
Yeah.
He did. Would you go along the lines and say that Ben Roethlisberger is in the same category as Eli Manning? Or he's like he's a good quarterback and he just happened to win.
Above Eli. I'd put him
above Eli.
Yeah,
I would too because I feel like he had more. Even though
playoff wins, he had more.
He has better stats as Eli. Eli just has the two.
Better. Eli's only playoff wins came when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
He got his teams to 3 Super Bowls, even though they lost one of them. But he's He was definitely a top 5 quarterback during his time. He wasn't number 1, wasn't number 2, wasn't number 3.
I feel bad for him and Phillip Rivers because they're always going to be lumped in with those guys, but never really stand out because obviously you're playing with. I think Brady, Breeze, and
he had a Hall of Fame throw to Santonio Holmes in the corner that
end zone,
and he might be the greatest fat, unathletic looking guy to avoid a sack in NFL history.
He was actually surprising. Like he looked big, but he was actually pretty athletic for his size.
Saw him without a shirt on in several locker rooms. You would not think that guy's an NFL quarterback.
He's the Luka Doncic of NFL.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he looks like he's going to be the guy at the YMCA that you just go up against, and all of a sudden he's dropping 50 points on you.
I mean, but Antonio Brown would not be Antonio Brown without him. Santonio Holmes did not have the same success without him.
Hines Ward.
Hines Ward has some other
later.
guys. But you can go try to Santonio. There was another one other than Antonio Brown that was crazy good with him. Went to another team and just was average.
I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name.
The only guy I think of is like first guy that came in my mind was like Chase Claypool. Some random dude. I don't know. He caught some passes from Ben, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna look up. This is gonna bother me until I
think I agree with you though. Overall, that I think Ben is maybe a tier above Eli. From a talent standpoint and sustained success. But he's not what I would enshrine as, hey, here's a guy who defined the NFL, who broke a bunch of records and won a bunch of championships. And to me, that's what the Hall of Fame, like you need to be special. And Ben was great. I don't think he was too special. I don't think he separated himself from the crowd too much. And he did have the Peyton, the Brady, the Rodgers working against him. He also benefited from playing on good Steelers teams. Like that is a well-ran organization that has suffered since he left. Like his decline.
Mike Wallace.
That's him.
I knew there was another one.
It was Mike. I couldn't think of the last name.
I was on Pro Football Reference. I was trying to figure. And then Heath Miller never was. I mean, the start of the great Steelers tight end started with Ben because Ben actually threw the tight ends. And so, I mean, he will get into the Hall of Fame, but I'm with you, Brian. It's not a slam dunk first ballot, nor should it be.
Well, let's fast forward to several years down the road and have another potential Ben Roethlisberger out there, which is Josh Allen. Because Ben Roethlisberger had to go against Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. What is Josh having to go against right now? He's having to go against Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Who knows what Drake May is going to end up being up there in New England, but he's got to go against all these other quarterbacks. Could we be looking 10, 20 years down the road and Ben Roethlisberger's conversation ends up being what Josh Allen is?
I think it's a pretty good chance, honestly. I see them as a lot of the same.
When you look at that class, the Brady, the Manning, both Mannings, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, you look at maybe Russell Wilson's going to have a hard time getting in because he was a part of that. Matt Ryan's going to have a hard time getting in. Alex Smith's definitely not getting in. I'm trying to think of any other quarterbacks out there during that time. I think I just
Phillip Rivers. Did you say
yeah,
Rivers?
I said Rivers, yeah.
God, Titans legend Jake Locker, man.
Yeah. Jake Clocker or Zach Mettenberger.
Yeah.
Hasselbeck.
Yeah,
Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
I would say I think they had Fitzpatrick back in those years too a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm going to pick 2010 just out of nowhere just to see what the player stats.
Joe Flacco would have been.
Yeah, and I was thinking about
Flacco.
Flacco. I mean, he got to a Super Bowl and ran through Manning and ran through Brady.
Now, is this truly Joe Flacco's first Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
So I saw that.
I saw that somewhere.
And I was like, that had to be wrong.
This is 2010. You had Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, Carson Palmer. We can pretty much. He had great seasons, but is he Hall of Fame worthy?
No.
I think he's already been eligible a couple of times.
Yeah.
Sam definitely not. Donovan McNabb. I mean, he's
was
kind of
still
a
in.
part of that. I think
That was when he was
Washington.
with the rest. Yeah.
Matthew Stafford somewhere out there.
Yeah.
He was fresh out of Georgia.
Yeah.
About that
I mean,
time.
you could. That's another one you're going to have to.
Well, I love the
put
name
up
you
there.
skipped over at number 4 there, Matt Schaub.
Yeah.
He had Andre Johnson to throw to, so that was
Yeah.
fun.
And then you say you go to 2011. So yeah, I mean, Ben certainly in that. Aaron Rodgers first ballot. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with Tony Romo's in that list of guys. You wouldn't put him top 10. Andy Dalton had long-term success in Cincinnati. You got Michael Vick out here.
How many years did was he suspended or off or whatever? Was it just one?
It's just one. Because he's in jail.
He literally could not play. He was incarcerated.
So you got Brees, Brady, Stafford, both Mannings, Rodgers, Rivers, Roethlisberger, Ryan, Romo.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a tough.
We didn't
group.
realize how blessed we were. Now we got like Cam Ward versus Shitter Sanders for the Pro Bowl. So,
those guys wouldn't even be cracking this list at all.
I'm still on the thing I brought. How is Joe Flacco? How is this his first Pro Bowl? Yeah. That can't be true.
I would say like maybe 2012. That
I want to say the Super Bowl year. I mean, he was really good that year.
I saw that and I was like, that shocked me.
Here's another list that they went up. Jay Cutler was actually really good for a couple of years, like
2010 to like 2014.
Andrew Luck.
Oh
That's another guy of that.
If he just never didn't get hurt.
Yeah, here's the 2014 top 10 passers. Number 10, Tom Brady, Stafford, Rivers, Rodgers, Eli Manning, Matt Ryan, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees.
That's absurd.
It's their top 10 passers, passing yards.
Yeah.
And actually, Brees and Roethlisberger tied for 4,952 yards.
And I think it's crazy because neither one of them really had like a number 2 guy. Like Phillip Rivers always had Marcus Colston, and Ben Roethlisberger had Antonio Brown, but.
Mike Wallace was his number 1. Santonio was his number 1. Hines was always the number 2 guy, and then and Chase Claypool doesn't know how to. I hate the Steelers, but I'm just when you look at all these names, like you can definitely make Tom Brady's going to be first ballot. Peyton, he's not in yet, is he?
I don't think so.
Is he in? I don't think so.
He is.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say.
Well, because I remember seeing
his last year was 2016.
The bus with the big forehead.
It would have been like 20 or 21
so,
when he got in.
Brady's definitely in. Stafford probably gets in. Phillip Rivers, that's going to be a debatable one.
Just because he never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he only got the one championship game. Rodgers is in. Eli's going to be debated. Matt Ryan won't. Peyton's already in. Lucky can certainly make an argument, but I think he cut his own career too short.
Yep.
So he's going to be debated. And then you got Drew Brees, who's going to be a first ballot guy. Roethlisberger, when
he's right up there with
further
them.
review, he was not bad.
He was actually, he was right there with them.
He's good, but again, is he great?
No, this is where that great aspect is where I find interesting discussions with a Matthew Stafford and a Phillip Rivers, because it's like, all right, well, if you're great, then you should be able to get to multiple Super Bowls and hopefully win more than one. And then you look at what they've done. Stafford, honestly, I think this was Stafford's last year as being able to actually get that second Super Bowl. I felt like if he got that second Super Bowl, then they was an absolute lock to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. The Phillip Rivers, I don't know. Where do you draw the line where it's like, okay, well, you only got one Super Bowl or whatnot, but let's look at your body of work and see how much you actually did on the field. Where do you draw that line, which is, all right, now you've gone from being really, really good to you're elite and a Hall of Famer.
Right. We could debate this all day.
Yeah, I mean, it could be all day,
all day long. And while you guys were talking about that, I looked up where they're re-releasing Ninja Turtles 2, March 13th through the 19th, Secrets of the Ooze.
Hot dog.
Oh, I am so pumped. If we get that, we get a Jackass movie.
Yeah.
Up, in June. I think we should have an X-Sports group trip to go see it because they played the last one at Crockett.
Perfect, yeah.
Brian, we won't tell the church that you're going.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at top 10 passing yards.
Career.
Yeah, career. Roethlisberger is 7.
Yeah, he's got to be first ballot. If
With-
you're top 10 all time.
Hey, Phillip Rivers right behind him. Matt Ryan right behind him.
Because I think if you take a big scroll down, you could probably find
Or the bold current active.
Yes.
Roger, Stafford, Rivers, technically active. Let's see, passing touchdowns. Where does he fall? Go.
Probably a little further.
Almost.
Down. He's 9th on passing touchdowns, so he's so he's still top 10 doing good. I don't think he's Hall of Fame though. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's all good. Well, we can debate this, and we'll probably debate it more on Thursday when they find out who the nominees for the Hall of Fame are going to be. So for Taylor, Bryant, Mike, and myself, have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.